Hello and welcome back to Sectors channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be treating how to switch from a React functional component into a class component. Make no mistake, this can also work if you want to do vice versa. In other words, you want to switch from a React class component into a functional component. Okay, so you may have several reasons you want to make a switch. But for me, my reason was because I was dynamically creating some table rows and I was dynamically creating these elements and trying to pass refs. And working with refs on dynamically created elements, you have to work with React class components. Okay, so I said this was a prime example on learning how to make a quick switch from this type of React component. Okay, either one works fine or works well. It just depends on which you're more comfortable with. Um, so that being said, okay, there are two main things to really pay attention to when trying to do this thing. Number one is to just switch or just change the functions. When working with functional components, you change the functions into classes. That's one. The second is to add a render. That's two. Then the other little things we'll take care of are like trying to access the functions and the variables. In other words, this or whatever. If you want to access a function, you say this the in normal class style. Okay, that's the third thing to take care of. Number fourth is how you're destructuring. For instance, in our destructuring act here, we are accessing through variables from the parent file here. That's dice, update dice, assistant, and dice refs. Depending on how we structure our file or when we're making the switch, we can easily access them with this dot props dot whatever I want to access. Okay, now let's go. So, like I said, the first thing I want to take care of is the function. So we have to change this to a class. So I can just comment this out and just make it a class. To make it a class, it will be as straightforward as exporting defaults class dice values, extending the components. Okay. Let me be careful so I don't make any mistake here. In classes, we use constructors, so we should not forget to use our constructor there. Then super. Okay. In this component here, we you would observe that we did not make use of state at all, and that's because we have no need for it. The state holding the important variables in the parent file are more than enough to make this components work just fine. So instead, we'll just switch to the other functions within this functional component. And the next one we have here is select die assistant. So select die assist. So we just have to quickly change this to a class. To do that, this const just has to get off. Okay, then this dice. Remember, we're accessing dice from this the structured act here. So what I can do here would be to say this the props the that um then then this object die assistance is also coming from the parent file. So what we can simply do is this the props dot that. So whatever thing you're destructuring here in your functional components, wherever it is in your file, it's either you cache them separately, then you access the functions, or you just use this dot props dot whatever to get what you're bringing from your parents' file. Okay. Um, a module cannot have default. Okay, no problem. The next thing is to render. So just has to render. To render, we do it like this, and in the render comes the return. So what we need to do is to come here. Our return ends here, I believe. So we can just come here, then cut that, then chop that space, then tab, then paste that, then okay, there we go. But this comes with a bit of problem because as you can see here, we have some errors here. It says could not find dice. Why can't this find dice, right? That's because dice is destructured here and we are just passing it here. So remember the rule, since we're getting it from props, we just need to use this dot prop. But we can still make it just a bit tidier. And to do that, we can just say let dice equals this the props the dice. Okay, I think I was having a mistake here. Okay, then the next we can do is to get dice ref. Let dice ref. We catch this, and this will be this the props the dice ref. So now the dice all work fine here, and okay, I can just comment that out. And so dice ref. So okay, so anyway, you have this will be dice ref. Okay, and yeah, dice ref. Okay, yeah, so that is how then this export default dice values that was in the old function components will just be deleted, and there we go. So we've just successfully can delete this now. So we just successfully switched or changed this file from a functional component into a class component. So thank you and see you in the next tutorial. All right, bye.